Dave Fanning, weekend on 2FM.
Gary Lightbody, welcome to the pro. Gary Lightbody, OBE. I'll get to that in a minute or two. Not sir. Gee, you're a bit down the list. Anyway, by the way, I was going to say, how are you? But actually, where are you at the moment?
Hi, Dave. I'm in LA at the moment. I've been here since the start of lockdown.
Since the start of lockdown, is that Gary Lightbody, or Gary Lightbody with Snow Patrol?
This is Gary Lightbody and Snow Patrol.
Oh, so the band have been in LA.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking.
You fucking idiot. Take two.
I thought you were asking me if like some sort of like philosophical question.
No. There's plenty of time for that. Give me at least 10 seconds. No, seriously. I mean, like, are you doing stuff with the band? Mother of God Almighty.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing stuff with the band at the moment, but writing songs remotely with some of the guys. But we want to be all in the one place before we make another record. Yeah.
By the way, like, you were out of the picture quite a lot of the last decade. You came back with the great album Wildness, and then what? Like, in the last 6 months, what were you supposed to have been doing? Should you have been on the road?
Yes, we had festivals this summer. Just same as a lot of bands, that were all cancelled, obviously.
Right, yeah. And when do you think? I'm sure nobody knows when you're going to be back performing. But by the way, when you are back performing, I mean, what's it going to look like? Did you see the pictures of that big outdoor concert in Newcastle last week, where the audience were all socially distanced in the arena or the field or whatever, in very small groups on mini raised platforms? Is that the near future? Do you think the full future?
I'm not sure, but good on Sam Fender for trying to figure something out. But yeah, I think we're going to have to think of inventive ways of getting the crowd safely back into gigs somehow. But obviously safety is the most important thing. But as far as Snow Patrol gigs go, I don't know. It might be next year.
Okay, but trying to figure something out. You've tried to figure something out, and you've been successful at it. You've obviously been able to record. You've got a new EP out, which you co-wrote with fans. Tell me about that. Yeah,
I went on Instagram Live on kind of on a punt to begin with, just thinking maybe this will work. I just thought I'd write some songs or write a song with fans. If it doesn't work, we'll have a bit of crack. The first time we tried it, it worked, and then so I just kept doing it, and it was we did 12 songs in 11 sessions, 11 weeks, and it worked really, really well. Just basically, I asked for chords, and I asked for lyrics, and so the fans were contributing to all of it, really. And the lyrics were all pretty much fans. It was just maybe 5 or 10% of a song might be me sort of like adding in words just as connective tissue between lines, but it was mostly their work.
And as the result, the EP I'm talking about?
Yes, the EP, we called, they've collectively are now known as the Saturday Songwriters, because that was the name of the session, the Saturday Songwrite. And so Snow Patrol and the Saturday Songwriters, called the Fireside Sessions, and that EP is out on the 21st of August.
Okay, and I'll play a track a little bit later on. But I mean, the point is that, one of the things that when I say you've been off the scene a lot, and you've talked a lot about the reasons why you were off, but one of them was, you didn't actually say writer's block. You said more of a life block in some ways. But let's just say a part of a life block is also writer's block. Did this kind of shake you and saying you've no chance to have a writer? It's Saturday. We're going to write a song, and there's other people depending on me, so we're just going to do it. Yeah,
it was. It actually was really helpful to me and other writing as well, because it just showed that instinct should be held above editing, if you know what I mean. Like I think I was caught up in my own internal editor for a long time, and it actually just showed me the power of just being instinctive with it. And because you can't really, you can't take a lot of time when you're on a live stream. You can't be sitting there pondering, for minutes or even hours. You just got to go with it, and it was a great experience, actually.
And this is like, if you like, it's a kind of a side project-y thing, really, in some ways. It's not like the next album. It's not the follow-up to Wildness on any level, is it?
No. This is it's a separate entity, of course, but it's I think if people listen to the lyrics, I mean, obviously there were thousands of people giving ideas, so it in theory shouldn't work, or it should sound, it kind of shouldn't flow be coherent, but it really is. You know, it has a cohesiveness. It makes sense. It has heart. You know, all these things that it really shouldn't have. It has. You know, so it's a record I'm proud of. You know, it stands up against. It stands up against anything else.
Okay, well, just the facts of all this. Snow Patrol, it's a brand new EP, written and recorded during lockdowns. The Fireside Sessions, released, as you say, Gary, on August 21st. It's made up of 5 songs written with the band's fans during a series of streams on Instagram Live, dubbed Saturday Songwriters. And so, in a nod to this collaboration, the Fireside Sessions is going to be released under the banner of Snow Patrol and the Saturday Songwriters. And the EP was produced by Ian Archer.
And can I just say something about Ian Archer, because he's an absolute legend.
Of course.
He worked he worked so hard on this record, 20-hour days, some days for 4 weeks solid. And, it's because the record's it's all gone to charity. He worked for free. So that man deserves an awful lot of credit for getting this record together.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, you've had your kind of 25 years so far, and you're looking forward to the next 25 with 7 albums and 13 million sales, or 14 million, whatever. 1 billion global track streams, by the way, and 5 UK platinum albums and Grammy and Mercury nominations and all the rest of it. So all of this kind of stuff. And you were also at it long enough before it really hit huge with Final Straw in 03, and then globally with Eyes Open in 06. But you've talked about the Demons quite a bit over the last bunch of years, just how difficult it was. And I just wanted one question about all of that, which I didn't ask you the last time, was, did you enjoy the success while it was there? And I'm noting that you were on the road between 03 and 012 and 12 basically all the time.
Yeah, no, it's great. I did enjoy it. I've enjoyed it too much, to be honest, Dave, at times, and that's probably one of the reasons why I had to give up the life that I had in a lot of ways. And then, obviously we took 7 years away, and to make Wildness and for me to get my head rinsed, and coming back again and still being able to tour the world and play to thousands of people every night, and we're just so grateful to our fans, particularly in Ireland, that have stuck with us through all of this, and 25 years. We're able to look, to the, obviously current times notwithstanding, who knows what's going to happen in the next few while, but hopefully when we all come out of this, we can look forward to more gigs and more tours next year, and keep going. I don't know, you said another 25 years. I think that might be pushing it.
Oh yeah, I have Mick and Keith on the line here, by the way.
Certainly another 10. I would love to go for that long and make. I've got lots more albums in me. Yeah, but I know that we all have.
Yeah, one of the reasons why you'd love to go is probably that's why I asked about did you enjoy the success, because I'm just looking at 2019 compared to a lot of previous years. When you left the stage in front of 20,000 people or whatever it happens to be, whatever gig you might have been playing, were you in a good mood, and was it really did you enjoy it, and was it not the hotel room, and I'll quote you from previous times, of completely isolated, devastated, alone? What's this, you used to watch it about 2 o'clock in the morning on TV? I can't remember, thinking, what am I doing here? You felt great on stage and miserable by 3 o'clock in the morning too often. How was 2019 with the Wildness album in comparison?
Yeah, because you coming off, for example, that Malahide playing to 20,000 people, and I actually enjoyed it, and I actually came off stage feeling good about myself, and I went back to the hotel feeling good about myself and got a good night's sleep. You know what I mean? So the difference is is massive. The same amount of people playing to, but a different mindset. So it made all the difference, really.
I mean, obviously, but as people get older, they always say they're more reflective about things, and obviously that's the way it's going to be. But do you think that you were, as a kid, very sensitive? I know you wrote poetry and you wore your heart in your sleeve maybe a bit too much and all of those kind of things, but to the point where, you suddenly realised later on with all the success that, maybe I'm still that kid and maybe I just haven't really gone past a certain stage.
Yeah, I was a very sensitive kid, that's for sure. And I think I did carry a lot of that into adulthood, and I have tried to leave it behind in recent years. You want to keep a level of sensitivity, of course, but not so much that you feel that it's sort of having a sort of detrimental effect on your mental health. But I feel a lot stronger than I did, in previous times, and obviously that has a lot to do with lifestyle changes.
And the lifestyle changes, you never mentioned the word alcoholism, but you did say alcohol dependence. Is it one day at a time, Gary, or what is it? How's it going, basically?
I think it was for a while, for maybe 18 months after I gave up. And then since then, I don't think about it, really. Anytime I have a sort of fleeting thought about drinking, I've been very, very lucky. Because my brain reminds me very quickly of my last hangover. I remember that very well. So for some reason, my brain seems to have developed a defense mechanism, which isn't that what a great time I had the last time I had a drink. It was, my brain says, what a terrible time you had the morning after you had your last drink. So I've been able to kind of just shake that thought pretty quickly.
Mm. And how did you celebrate the success of Wildness? Just, great, fantastic, and then off to bed, is that it?
That was funny. It's a very good question, because it's something Jack Knife-Lee, our producer, has had at the time of Wildness been off the drink for about 7 years. So I think he's been off the drink now for 10. And I said to him, I was feeling this very strange feeling, because we'd finished the album, but everyone else had gone out and were celebrating, and I was kind of thinking, well, what exactly do you do when you finish something and you don't go and get drunk? What's the thing? Yeah. How do you celebrate it? How do you put a full stop on it? And Jack Knife goes, well, if you figure that out, let me know, because I still don't know. So it's still a question mark, really.
Okay, but the sobriety is good, because has it made you realise what you wanted to write about? Was it a question of giving all of yourself as opposed to more of yourself? Yeah,
it's I think that Wildness kind of showed me that it's okay to write about the darkest parts of myself, and people aren't going to recoil. In fact, I think I got more actual letters. People still send letters, which is a beautiful thing, than I ever did for any album. That like saying how much it meant to them. So clearly, I thought the opposite would happen. I thought it would be like, well, this guy's clearly, not somebody we want to listen to. So I think that from now on, it's just a matter of being open, honest, and not being afraid to go to those places that I was always afraid to go to before.
By the way, just in case you're wondering, I'm talking to Gary Lightbody, of course, from Snowball. Gary Lightbody, OBE. Tell me about that, Gary. When you were writing poetry as a kid at 9 years of age, did you ever think you'd be Gary Lightbody, OBE? Did you? Not a chance.
I thought it was a joke when I heard about it. I thought they were taking the mickey. So it took me a while to be convinced that it was a real thing. But it's bizarre.
Congratulations for everything that you've done. The worst thing about it, the sting in the tail, is the fact that your dad died literally like a bunch of hours almost before you were told. Isn't that right? Something like that.
Yeah. He died the day. A couple of days before it was announced, and he would have been very proud. I know that.
The streaming services. Can I just go back to that? The Spotify CEO Daniel Ek, he said recently that working musicians may no longer be able to release music only once every 3 to 4 years. That's nonsense, isn't it?
I think it's the worrying thing about it is perhaps that it's just sort of it does put pressure on. Unnecessary pressure to just release whatever, just to kind of keep up with the times, and that's the thing I've sort of it worries me about it. I think that art has to take precedence over commerce. It has to. I think that you don't make. I don't think you make great art when you're thinking about how much you're going to make from it, or that you've got to make it like you're under sort of a time limit.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But But I understand that the times move on, the times change. I'm not a dinosaur. I keep very up to date with everything. I realize that we are in a much more immediate, a much more sort of content kind of hungry time. But it's still not going to stop us from taking our time over making an album. That's for sure. But hopefully not 5 years like it took the last time.
No, indeed. Well, just finally, I mean, like the creative juices are definitely flowing. I mean, you've got like the Fireside Sessions under the banner of Snow Patrol and the Saturday Songwriters. The EP, as you say, produced by Ian Archer. The 21st of August is what we're talking about here, and it's a brand new and completely different way of writing, and it certainly puts you on the spot. By the way, is it the same in some ways as Jackknife Lee might be in the studio? Oh, for crying out loud, Gary, that mix is good enough. Get out. This is fine. The fans with you saying, look, do this, and you really have to step up to the plate, don't you? Absolutely, yeah. There's no time to be too let that internal editor kind of get a hold of things. I just instinct is key. Instinct is key indeed. Well, listen, Gary, it sounds like it's pretty good, the whole thing. The biggest question of all of the day is this: the yogurt versus the yogurt debate. What is it? You always do this, Dave. You always bring something up. The really weird thing about it is they're spelt the same, which you can only say it, you can't write it. Exactly, and that was the thing. That was the kind of the joke that I was kind of making. But I realised it was such a stupid joke because it was written down. It was the very first EP that we ever released. Actually, that's funny because you should bring it up, and I'm sure that's the reason why you did, is because that was the only other EP we ever released, was our very first one back in 1994. Yeah. And we were called Shrug. You were called Shrug, and that was before Polar Bear as well, I can tell you. Yeah, Shrug. Yes. I won't even ask you where Shrug came from. What do we call ourselves? I don't know. Exactly. That was about as much thought as went into that. Yeah. And the first EP was called the Yogurt versus Yogurt debate, but obviously, as you have just said, it made no sense. It doesn't make any sense written down. Right, indeed, no, it doesn't. Well, yourself and Mark McClellan, this is really weird. A Northern Ireland band, you have to go off to Dundee University to perform. Anyway, I think we've gone through that maybe sometime in the past. And then, of course, the one that I was playing a lot was When It's All Over, we still have to clear up. That's so long ago at this stage. We're moving forward now. So, finally, the follow-up album, the actual proper, if you like, album from Snow Patrol, To Wildness. It won't be another 6 or 7 years. So do you have stuff together, or has this writing thing helped you? Yes, I've been writing a lot for various projects, and obviously Snow Patrol being my whole life is the first priority of all the best songs. So the songs are coming along really well, and as I say, it won't be till we all get back in the same room again that we get going on it, but yeah, things are happening. All right, well, really until you do, enjoy what you're doing. Thanks a million, Gary Lightbody, OBE, for talking to us on the programme today. Good man, Gary. I'm going to play a track now from that, which is Snow Patrol and the Saturday Songwriters from the Fireside Sessions. Good luck. Thanks a million, Gary. Cheers, Dave.